Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, everybody. How are you today? I am Gabriella. Welcome to our next episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. Today, I am bringing to you an awesome expert, my good friend, Joel Holc. Hey, Joel.
Hey, Gab, great seeing you. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you today?
I am thankful. Thank you for asking.
So let's go ahead and jump in. I love having conversations with you because I know that you have such an interesting background and story, and you have some amazing expertise in a lot of different areas that all kind of come together. So I'm really excited to be able to interview you today. So will you please share with our audience about your expertise?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I help people to connect energetically to themselves, to understand as people why we do what we do, but why each and every one of us, why you do what you do, and what I can help people to really, once we understand why we're doing what we're doing, the possibilities are endless. So this is my blessing, is to be able to listen and support people to connect themselves energetically to themselves. So, hey, great question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and you and I, when we first met, it took a little while, and then we had an opportunity to get to know each other, and we had that really amazing call where you helped me with connecting to a piece of me that I needed, and it was just so enlightening and opening. So I am really excited that I get to have this conversation with you and share you with our audience. So will you please tell our audience about your background that got you where you are today?
Sure. In 2009, so about 13 years ago, I was really sick. I was barely able to walk. And my doctor told me that within 10 years, I will be living in a wheelchair. So he said, hey, Joel, get your life in order. Understand that within 10 years, there is really nothing for us that we'll be able to help you in any way. For about a year, I actually believed my doctor, and I thought that this is how my future looked like. After a year, I changed my mind, and I said, I don't want to be sick no more. Now, for granted, it took way more than just changing my mind, but it did start in changing my mind. And took me about a year after that, and I fired my doctor. I say, thank you very much. I appreciate everything that you have done to me, because I really appreciate, because in his mind, he did the best that he could. And I'm healthier today than when I was in my 30s. I feel better. My body's better. My ability to walk. Obviously, I'm not planning to be in a wheelchair, never sat in a wheelchair. And this is really what eventually led me into the work that I'm doing. So I understood energetically how I actually became sick in the first place. And you know, this is a big pill to swallow, especially because often, myself included, we're all growing up and living that if we're sick, we are just victims, that we have really nothing what to do with that. How can you blame a person of being sick? Because they're really sick, and I was really sick. And looking at that and really understanding energetically where it's all came from, and understanding that I have a lot what to do with that. This was the beginning of my healing journey that eventually led to where I am in my life today.
And, you know, we've talked about your story, and it's just such an interesting journey that I think a lot of people will benefit when they hear about it. Your story that you just shared, part of your healing process was some really critical and important influences. Will you share with our audience about those?
Sure. During my, and I call it awakening experience, because until that point of my life, I was really living life as a reaction. And I did well in my life, in many areas of my life, and in many areas of my life, I didn't do well. So I own my own businesses, and I've been an entrepreneur throughout all my life, enjoyed the freedom of the entrepreneurship. However, there's a lot of areas in my life that did not work as well. And the way that life journey worked, everything had for me to collapse. I had to lose a lot of things in my life to be able to stop and to ask myself the most important question that I ask myself in my life is, how did I get here? And when I asked this question, how did I get here to my life, that my life did not work out, and my mom passed away, marriage fell apart, being extremely unhappy in my professional life, being a single parent for my two kids from my first marriage. Like, what happened? Like, how did I get here? Yeah. And this question probably was the most important question that I asked myself in my life. And as I asked this question, I was seeking for help elsewhere, places that I've never been before. And I found some books that really were influenced my life, that really made a big difference. I will look at some books. The Art of Happiness, extremely powerful book. Buddha Bootcamp, that is something that I read on a daily basis. Ask and it is given, connecting to the law of attraction, and really understand how energetically everything connected and how everything works. This information have made tremendous impact in my life.
And when we were talking, there was a whole series of books in the general area of law of attraction that we were discussing. And I know that back in 2016 and 2017, I had a shift, and it took a little doing, nowhere near as big as yours, but I had a shift, and law of attraction was a really critical component in getting away from all of the negativity that I was to where I am today. So I think that there's a lot of works that are law of attraction that are really beneficial to people. Yeah.
And there is an art of practicing the law of attraction. And I've been blessed to being aware of that and working with a team of people and working. It's a journey. The law of attraction work 100% of the time. The law of gravity work 100% of the time. If you believe it or not, it's make no difference. Gravity will work. Way before Newman gave the law of attraction a name and understanding, the law of gravity was already in existence. He did not invent the law of gravity. All what he did, he gave it a name, but it was there way before. The same thing going with the law of attraction. The law of attraction is there way before we understand it. The only difference is once we understand it, we are able to create our life differently, that we cannot do it if we don't understand the law.
And I know that you actually work with a group of people regularly and consistently and teach people how to learn and use and embrace it in their own lives. Hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them. Global Prosperity Academy, GPA, is a community of like-minded individuals that are heart-centered and mission-driven, focusing on high-level communication training, leadership development, and strategic community building. Take a look at the video in the link below and see how GPA is right for you. You've all heard, and you know how powerful it is to send thank you cards, notes of appreciation, and gifts that build and maintain relationships. However, writing and sending generic impersonal greetings and gifts one by one just is so overwhelming and takes so much time. Not to mention, these days, who wants to deal with lines at the post office, running out of stamps, or having to print stamps yourself? And then there's the embarrassment of missing an important date altogether. Yikes! So what can you do? If you go to marketyourbiz.guru, you will be able to get help with your greetings and gifts that are printed, stamped, stuffed, and mailed automatically for you. Make sure that you tell them Gabriella sent you. If you were to go back to your younger self, your high school, college self, or if you're speaking to an entrepreneur that is young or changing careers and young in a new career, what one piece of advice would you give them?
This is a great question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
From my own experience, for many years of my life, all what I cared about is making money. And money does not buy happiness. And people say, hey, you need to have money to say that. Money can buy comfort in some areas, but money definitely does not buy happiness. In my professional career, for every dollar that I earn, I spend $2 in my soul to earn these dollars. So much more money that I made, worse I actually felt. So if I could go back to myself, and then my invitation to myself, whatever it takes, make sure you follow your heart. Make sure that it's make you fulfilled. Make sure that we're waking up with a purpose. Make sure that it's make us happy. Because if we're not operating from a higher purpose than just making money, we got to put ourselves in a point of really losing the point of the purpose of why we're here in the first place.
That's really, really powerful. And I think you're right. I think a lot of people mistake comforts for true happiness. And, we need money. We need money to clothe ourselves and buy food and keep a roof over our head. But that is necessary comfort. And then some extra disposable income to do things is fun and nice, but it should not be a definer.
If we love what we do and we're operating from purpose, we will not work a day in our life.
And I can attest to that. Even in the GabTalks world, even when I'm having my down days, I'm still light years happier than I was when I was doing what I did before. So I 100% agree with that.
And to your point is when you were operating on the concept, and I call it energetically, when we creating money from the energy of fear, there is no fulfillment.
Yeah.
When we're creating money from the energy of love, there is fulfillment. And generally speaking, financially, we're becoming way more successful because we are attracting the right people, the right events, the right circumstances into our life to provide what we really want to create.
So look, I know that you have a lot of information and a lot of experience that our audience could benefit from. So I'm going to open up and ask you if you can share some of your best tips that people can take action on right now.
In the business world, when I work with people, if I partner up with people, or if I'm really looking up to people, then I say, okay, this is a person that I want to learn. This is a person that I want to work with. I ask myself a few questions. A, do they have what I want? B, are they willing to teach me how to get it? Because there's a lot of people that we think that they have what we want. They might have a part of what we want. They might be making a lot of money. So I want a lot of money. But if we understand that money is just one of the things that we want, do they have the lifestyle that we want? Do they have the relationship that we want? Are they operating on the integrity that we're feeling comfortable with?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we can look at people and say, hey, do I want to work with this person? Money is just one of the areas, and generally speaking, is not the most important thing, because there's a lot of people that we might go to find that yes, they have what we want, but they're not willing to teach us how to get it, or they're willing to charge us a lot of money to get it. I have concern about that, because if somebody's willing to charge me a lot of money to teach me what they have, I'm not sure if this energetically we are actually operating from the same place. When we're picking up a mentor, when we're picking up somebody to work with, ask yourself this question: do they have what they want? And in every area of your life.
Yeah, and sometimes there are people who are willing to teach us, and then we look at what they have and we're like, oh, wait a second, that's not really who I want to be.
They teach us in theory. They learn a book, they learn from a coach, they learn from somebody, and now they learn the theory of what they can teach. So now is a person that teaching a theory. By the time that we get it, first of all, it's so diluted and so far from the core of the purpose. And second, there's a missing in the integrity, because the person that teaching actually does not experience life in that way. They're just teaching how life could be.
That's huge. That, for me personally, that is really important. And I think most of the people listening, acting and living in integrity is something that most people strive for.
So let's talk about integrity for a second. We use the word integrity often. However, in the world that we're living in today, there is no agreement to be in integrity. So when we are creating agreement between people, we have to be in a clear agreement. We will operate under integrity. And what is integrity for you is not necessarily integrity for me. We have to be on the same page. What does it mean to be in integrity? This is my expectation. This is my questions about you as a person first. And if I want you to work together and you will be my mentor, I want to make sure that we're clear about our communication and what we agree on integrity.
Absolutely. I think you make a really excellent point, because you're right, because what's integrous for me and what's integrous for you may not necessarily align. And we have to make sure that we have clear communication. That's a really excellent point. On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello, world. This is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer, and I am also a consultant from Z World Webs. Today, I want to highlight the Spiro Foundation, because this nonprofit organization is truly dedicated to arresting the spread of human trafficking. This includes prevention, education, recovery, and of course, technology. If you would like to learn more about the Spiro Foundation, please visit their website at www.spiro-foundation.org. And again, their website is www.spero-foundation.org, to which Spiro is Latin for I hope. Or you may scan their QR code. The link can be found in the show notes. So with that being said, my name is Z from Z World Webs, and let's develop a website Z World is waiting for. Thank you.
So look, I know that a lot of people need more Joel Holc in their life, and we are coming to the end of this interview. So will you please share with them how they can reach out and contact you directly?
Sure, absolutely. So if they want to go to my website, it's joelholc.com, JOELHOLC.com. And you can connect with me over there. And there is a place for us to get in communication.
And you're on social media too, right?
Yeah, yes, I am. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. And yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So I see that you changed your background, and I'm really glad you did, because I know that you wrote this book and you and I have talked about it. And it's such an interesting story about your journey that I think a lot of people will benefit from. So will you share with our audience where they can find your book? And just go ahead and give us a brief moment about what's in the book.
Sure, thank you. Great question. I appreciate you bringing this up. The book is about really my healing journey. And even more than that is how really I got sick in the first place. Because my healing journey is really about my story itself. That is unique because it's mine, and how I got sick, and really energetically where I got sick. And I just want to make sure that, I'm sure that there are people here that listening to this interview say, hey, I'm healthy, I'm physically healthy. And great, if you're physically healthy, please stay physically healthy and continue working on your health. I'm not only talking about our physical health, I'm talking about our spiritual, our emotional, our conscious, our subconscious mind. All this stuff that really make us who we are. This is really what the book is diving into, to help people to understand energetically what we're doing, which energy is sourcing us to do what we're doing. If anybody interested to purchase the book, they can go to Amazon, they can go to my website and just order the book from there.
So you guys, those links will be in the show notes and in the description. Go click the link, check out Joel's book. You will be glad that you did. Go check out Joel's website. Lots of information about him, and just a really great person to meet and get to know and learn from. I know I've learned a ton, and I am so delighted and so happy that I got to interview you today. I know our audience is absolutely going to benefit. So you guys make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the reminder so that you get notified when our next episode comes out. Thank you. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.